So for the last couple of days, there were some rumors going around that after India, USA might also ban TikTok. The application was declared a potential threat to national security by certain US state officials. But the news again made headlines a couple of days ago when Trump said this.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok. We may be doing some other things.
He later said, as far as TikTok is concerned, we are banning them from United States. Now, we've heard about internet censorships in countries like China, North Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, but USA is not generally the country you'd expect would ban social media applications like this. So what does it mean for social media applications in general? What exactly is TikTok stealing from your phone, and is banning TikTok the best idea? So TikTok is owned by a Chinese company named ByteDance. You might remember a couple of months ago a similar news about banning a Chinese mobile company named Huawei made the headlines. The company was accused of having been influenced by the Chinese Communist government and that they might potentially be spying on Western citizens. This is kind of a similar situation. You see, although ByteDance is a private Chinese company, the concerns of them being unduly influenced by Chinese authorities aren't completely out of picture. You see, just a couple of months ago, TikTok apologized for banning an account that made a video about Chinese inhuman concentration camps in the region of Xinjiang.
And use your phone that you're using right now to search up what's happening in China, how they're getting concentration camps, throwing innocent Muslims in there, separating their families from each other, kidnapping them, murdering them, raping them, forcing them to eat.
Now, some people did speculated this to be a little fishy. Think of this, if someone made a video criticizing the US government policies and uploaded that on YouTube, you wouldn't expect YouTube to ban that account or even remove the video. And this particular story about Chinese concentration camps is clearly something that China has been trying really hard to hide from the outer world, as it is something that will damage a not so good Chinese reputation even more. But these, after all, were just speculations and assumptions containing no proof or any evidence of ByteDance actually offering the collected data from TikTok to the Chinese government. In fact, after being banned in India last month, TikTok went as far as saying that TikTok continues to comply with all the data privacy and security requirements under Indian law and has not shared any information with any foreign government, including the Chinese government. Further, in November last year, TikTok published this blog post in which they stated that all the data of USA users of TikTok is stored inside USA, with the backup servers being held in Singapore, completely nullifying any claims of providing the user's data to China's Communist Party. Which also leads us to our next part of this video, which is if banning TikTok is the best solution. You see, I've heard a lot about why most people want to see TikTok get banned. It's mostly their outcry that why a certain 15-year-old is more popular than themselves. Honestly, I installed it a couple of times before, but I could never really get into it. I don't think I'm interested in the kind of content that is usually surfaced around there, or probably because I just never gave it my share of attention. But what I'm trying to say is that most people you talk to aren't really that concerned when it comes to the privacy of their data. It's mostly because they see the content on the app as cringe. And I totally get that. I don't like Facebook. I haven't used the site in the last 3-4 years. In fact, I even think that Facebook is one of the most vulnerable companies when it comes to your data privacy. Does that mean I want to see it get banned? Definitely not. What I'm trying to say is that banning a certain app or a service is never an ultimate solution. It's kind of a slippery slope. I think most people might be able to agree with me that banning and censoring applications and services are never beneficial in hindsight. I think the censorship culture is part of a much bigger and more serious problem. And I know this TikTok ban is being considered because of the privacy concerns, but what I personally would like to see is an alternative or set of regulations for applications like these, because I personally have read about dozens of browser extensions and mobile applications that are mainly made to steal their users' data. You know, the one that constantly shows ads and requires you to give random permissions like making calls when they're literally wallpaper apps. Now, would you ban all these applications from the internet? If so, then what's the criteria? Where do you eventually draw the line? What information can these apps actually collect, and what exactly are they stealing? I mean, let's be honest, it's 2020. Every single single piece of digital applications or device we interact with collects our information, either it be for targeted advertisements or even YouTube recommendations. The cell phone we hold every single day takes a track of how many steps we took that day or what time we slept or woke up that day. I'd probably go as far as saying that these applications we daily interact with know more better about ourselves and our preferences than probably we do. For me, what's worst is that I don't know what piece of our information they're playing with. What it seems to me in this particular situation about TikTok is that it isn't really getting banned for stealing our data, but rather for the concerns of them sharing that stolen data with the government of China. And yeah, that's a big problem. But is banning the first and the only solution? I don't think so. And if that's the case, is TikTok getting banned for actually stealing our data? Or if it's a Chinese app? Because really, if your main concerns is the privacy of data, why isn't Facebook banned yet? It's the company that has been proven guilty for collecting ridiculous amounts of data from its users and selling it. For me and a lot of you, TikTok might just be another application with shady stuff going on. But we do have to acknowledge that a lot of lives are daily revolving around that one application. We're talking about millions of people ranging from 5-year-old kids way up to people in their 20s, some of them who have even made a career and a living out of that one application. Would that be fair for those individuals to be just wiped off from their job instantly with a single decision? Probably not. That's why I think there should always be an alternative for a decision. I'm interested in seeing if there will be any sort of investigations that go through, but more importantly, I'm even more interested in seeing any sort of laws for these applications or just about any criteria that is more open towards its user base, so that way users themselves have enough knowledge and concerns to choose what's best for them and for the privacy of their information.